Hi everybody, I'm Marc Battle and this is The Point for Play 4, Class 3. Today we're focusing on teach yourself something new. Now why are we doing that? Well, as I've explained quite a few times, I find that we as adults don't get to experience learning something new. Right? Like the amount the kids do. Kids are always figuring out something new. As you get older, you tend to do that a little bit less, which then creates some sort of divide between us and the kids, right? They're figuring stuff out and engaging that wonder and joy of learning, where we're the old farts that have forgotten about that. So this assignment is a means for you to be able to learn something new, revel in that joy of trying something for the very first time, and how powerful it is. And it'll help you be more empathetic, right, to what the kids are dealing with. Also help you be more empathetic about what your role is as an educator in their lives. Me, I'm inspired by kids. I'm inspired, but they just go in full gusto and they don't care how they look when they try something new. And I try to live my life a little bit like that. They've taught me a lot. I try to get myself into those situations where I discover something for the very first time and what that feels like. It's kind of funny as we're talking here right now. It's a little bittersweet for me because this week Eddie Van Halen died. Now, I remember being a little snotty-nosed brat in 1977, first hearing Eruption, the guitar solo on Van Halen 1, and I remember my mind being blown. I had never heard guitar like that before. I didn't know you could do that with a guitar before. And it just shook me. And it made me go home and practice and practice and practice. That's what happens when you discover something new. I'm wearing this t-shirt. This ain't babysitting, from the podcast that I do. Never done a podcast before. Never done anything like that before. But I was willing to give it a try. Some episodes are better than others, but I've learned a tremendous amount along the way. I do all kinds of stuff. I always like to set myself up for learning something new. I get inspired really easy about stuff, and I go whole hog into it, do it, then I move on to something else. I can restore and repair motorcycles. I can basically cook and bake anything that you can imagine. I have taught myself a bunch of different instruments other than guitar because I just wanted to experience life like a child, but let's be honest, experience life like a human being. I took up knitting once because I was tired of the kind of sweaters that were out there, so I wanted to knit something for my son when he was just a little guy. And I had to go get a book on knitting. And I had to do some research on all the little, tricks and tips that they do. And then I spent some time with my mother-in-law, Joyce, who's an amazing knitter. And she taught me about tension and how to do it. She guided me through it. And I ended up making about 3 or 4 different sweaters. But the funniest thing about me, when I learn something new, then I get pretty arrogant, like a kid. Kids get arrogant when they learn something new. And I decided I was going to make some knit mittens, but I'm not going to follow a pattern. I'm going to make my own. Well, after I had got the first one done, we realized it was about this big, could fit about 17 men. And my wife and I had a good laugh, and now we use it for a Christmas ornament instead of a stocking. And the funny thing is about that little trouble or that little problem or that little mistake is, there might be a family tradition in my family of passing down the oversized glove for people. Well, when I look at that glove each time, I give myself a smile and a little pat on the back, and I go, well, the tension's good, and it looks like a glove. And it takes me back to that joy and feeling of when I knit for the first time and how powerful that was. So, go out there. Put yourself out there. Live like a kid out there with your chin high. Try this little activity. Give her a go. Even if it doesn't work, you give it a go because you've learned something from it. And you've learned the joy and wonder of discovering something for the very first time, which is kind of the nature of our work. All right, my friends, that is the point.